What's going on? Welcome in. So Tyson and I are filming this Monday night, 6:30 to be exact. So we're one day removed from the 13-8 loss against the Atlanta Falcons. At the time, 5-6 going into the game. They were 1-4 on the road, in the season. Today, you're looking at all these different offensive metrics, the third downs, the red zone, whatever, all these different things, offensive line protection, eye test, and you think it can't get any worse. And we stumble upon this story, right? Diana Rossini of The Athletic, Zach Rosenblatt as well. And they report that the Jets not only are looking to make another quarterback change to go back to potentially Zach Wilson, but that he potentially is like reluctant to play. And then you have, Saleh come out and kind of have like this, press conference addressing it. In Tyson, like, I know you wanted, I'm just looking at your face. I know you want to unleash right now. I just want to say this for me, like, I'm just, because there's this big debate, well, who should it be moving forward? Zach or Tim Boyle, or Trevor Siemian, like this and that. Doesn't matter.
No,
Doesn't matter. The offensive line is a mess. The play caller is horrendous. The game plans every single week are laughable. Does it matter who it's really going to be? I think, to me, I guess, people could be mad about the Zach Wilson thing, or, could back Wilson because of, the franchise and this and that, or the situation that the franchise has put him in. Like, I've seen, a lot of different arguments. My kind of take, or, just right off the bat here, again, not only just doesn't matter, but I think it's just embarrassing. It's just an embarrassing look. It's just admitting that nobody has a clue what's going on. Everybody's clueless offensively. And I think it's just such, optically speaking, for fans, for media, for, radio shows, TV shows, insiders, other teams. They're just looking at the Jets like, what a complete implosion. Are these guys serious? It's just an embarrassing mess.
The New York Jets are a laughingstock. They're exactly what they are. They are a bona fide laughingstock once again. Hands down. That's it. Like, they are unwatchable on offense. They are not competitive on offense. They have no leadership. They have no direction. They have no accountability. And this Zach Wilson thing is the ultimate cherry on top for Joe Douglas, because this could have all been avoided, dude. He shouldn't have been here this year. He should not have been in this situation this year. And now that we're here with this, like, now the minute he says, I'm reluctant to play because I don't want to get hurt, you're cut. You're gone. You're out of the building. Goodbye, Zach. You're released. I don't care about cap hits. I don't care anymore, dude. Like, I literally don't care. He's not going to be here next year. He's not part of the answer, right? Can you imagine his teammates looking at him, be like, bro, you don't want to play because you're scared to get hurt? The guys on defense who laying it down every down, playing incredible football at a high level, risking their bodies, right? Risking their bodies. And they're not worried about injuries. And Zach, I may get hurt. The minute the Jets benched him for the second time, they basically said, you know what, we're done with you, kid. To kind of bring him back now is kind of funny at this point. And I don't blame him. He's probably like, bro, you quit on me twice now. I know it's a lose-lose situation. I don't want to go back in there. And unfortunately, it got leaked out, right? Conveniently, probably too. So if I'm the Jets, this is it. You can't bring him back now because nobody believes Saleh today. You don't believe a word Saleh said today. Oh, he came to my office. He wants to play. No, he didn't, dude. This is more of the Jets coddling and hiding Zach Wilson and babying him and everything else. It's an ugly situation, and it's only getting worse. I mean, nobody agrees with me. I just don't care. I'm over it, dude. I'm so over this team. I'm over the front office, everybody, because I don't believe in anybody. I don't.
Dude, nobody cares. Like, it really seems like nobody actually cares. The people running this team, it just does not seem like winning is at the forefront of 2023. And it sucks to say it because this is a national football team. Or this is the top of the top. This isn't a high school team. This isn't, some it just seems like the Jets are running it like a business, and they're like looking at 2024 and Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers and this and that. It's just, to me, it's a slap in the face to fans. It's a slap in the face to the defensive players, the Thomas Morsteads of the world, the Greg Zuerleins of the world, the Irv Charles. The special teams unit, to me, has been great this season. We have two sides of the football, special teams and defense, that are, playing really, really good ball. And it sucks because that stuff is just erased because the offense is so much worse than every other team in football. It's, again, like you said it, like they're a laughing stock. Like literally, they're a laughing stock. I've said it on a couple videos. Like Ryan Fitzpatrick, Sherman,
Yeah.
Tony Gonzalez, they were literally laughing at the Jets before the Dolphins game even started on the panel when going over like offensive, the Jets' offensive struggles. Like we have Buffalo, we have Miami dancing and trolling the Jets, and nothing's done about it. Doesn't really seem like anybody cares. Um, it's it's a joke, dude. It's a complete joke.
The Falcons did it yesterday too. Like the Falcons are not a good team. They're not a good team. Desmond Ridder had 122 passing yards. He looked like Zach Wilson. That's exactly what Desmond Ridder looked like. He looked like Zach Wilson, and we couldn't beat him. Dude, it's insane. And the thing I don't understand is you watch Gardner Minshew with the Colts. You watch teams all throughout the NFL. You look at the Jets scheme in itself, just the offensive line, the line block, and how many missed blocks there are. Tomlinson, Becton, Dalvin Cook missing blocks. Like everybody. It's like, are they being coached or do they not care? Like I was numb. I'm like, you know what? I'm so over this. And then you watch it more and more. You're like, it's just bad. And the reason why I'm getting madder is that now the assumption is everybody's coming back next year. And that's bothering me because it's not a good product. If the Jets were scoring 20 points a week, coming up short, okay. This offense is inept. This is historically bad. You could break out stats all day long. This is some of the worst football we've ever seen in our entire lives.
Yep.
This is worse than Luke Falk, Adam Gase stuff now. This is awful, dude. And everybody's like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to come back next year. We got Aaron Rodgers. Listen, I'm over this whole Aaron Rodgers thing. He's not the savior. He's not going to make our offensive line this much better. He's not going to make, like we have a lot of holes, man. And the holes are at coordinator, coach, general manager, huge concern. Man, this Zach Wilson stuff set me off today because I was calm. I was like, you know what? It is what it is. Solid. Just say your thing. And then you see the story. I'm like, how are we here? Like, how are we here again? Right? Like, I can't believe it. Like, you're literally embarrassed to be a Jet fan again. Again, it's like, it's wild.
Is there another team in the NFL that's, that has this much drama or is this much of a circus? I mean, I guess you can maybe argue Carolina, but that's just as simple as, a new owner that wants power and is just cycling through head coaches. That's it. With the Jets, there's 1,000,010 things that are bothering fans. Yep. They're 4-8 as a win now football team.
Yeah.
You can talk about drops. You can talk about offensive line. You can talk about injuries. You can talk about accountability and play calling and game planning and quarterback production, all these different things. Like, at what point, man, I'm just fed up. I'm just fed up because, like, if Saleh hit the press conference, and I'm not, by no means am I saying, I want him to yell or freak out, but if he, like, just shows some emotion after a loss, like anger, like this is like, does he take it personal? Yep. Does Hackett take these losses personally? Does he look at the stats and the numbers and the rankings and is just disgusted with himself? It just seems like it's status quo. Like, this is kind of what we expect. Rodgers went down. Who can blame us? It's like, okay, if you really need a first ballot future Hall of Famer to make you not unwatchable, you're not a good coach.
Nope.
You're not a good coach.
Bro, it's the thing is too, is like the more Saleh talks, the more pissed off you get because now it's like we're leaving a lot of plays on the field. You know why you're doing that? Because all of your quarterbacks are scared to throw interceptions. They've handcuffed the quarterbacks, dude, because Tim Boyle has an arm. Zach has an arm. They can throw the freaking football. They're not throwing the ball downfield. They throw every once in a while, but Zach was never letting it rip. That's solid, dude.
And they can't run the ball either.
Nope.
Like, when was the last time Breece Hall had a breakout game or Dalvin Cook had a breakout game?
Because you can defend our offense, dude.
Had even a couple of opportunities in the game. Michael Carter's gone. We can't run the ball at all. The run blocking is atrocious. The right side just collapses. You feel like from, the first quarter all the way to the end of the game. It's not a one-man fix.
No, but
coordinator, it's not a one-man fix.
Bro, it's like you look at the blocking and then like Saleh yesterday in the press conference, like, well, our cadence is the problem. We're fooling ourselves more than the other team. Bro, that's coaching. All these pre-snap penalties, all this lack of discipline, the sloppy play, all this incompetence on offense is coaching and execution. And nobody's being held accountable. You had Alan Lazard inactive 1 week. Great. Big deal. Right? It's bad, dude. It is so bad. And the thing that I always wonder is, like, during the game, do you ever see Saleh go over to the offensive line, literally get off the sideline, go to the offensive line, go to bench, but guys, clean this up, fix this, do that. He doesn't do any of that. He kind of stands around, just watches the chaos around him. Like, everything is fine. We'll figure it out. But I think the problem is that they got some kind of assurance from Woody Johnson. They're all coming back next year. So there's no sense of urgency. Oh, you know what? This is bad, but we got Aaron Rodgers next year. We're going to be fine. Don't worry about this. Don't worry about that. But meanwhile, there's a lot of really bad things happening, dude. Like things that are inexcusable. And you can't tolerate it. You're scoring 6 points a game. I mean, that's like in the NFL, it's a passing league. Even bad teams find a way to score a touchdown. Like usually you find you get a fluke. We can't even get those. And the ridiculous amount of penalties and he talked yesterday. I'm like, dude, we're talking about the cadence now. That's our new excuse. He's running out of them. And then you look at it, it's like, all right, Tim Boyle, now we learned, is not an NFL quarterback. You know who that falls on? Joe Douglas, because that was the guy you wanted because he knew Hackett's system and Aaron Rodgers. Trevor Siemian looks like he has half an arm. He shouldn't be here either now. We've learned that. Who's that fall on? Joe Douglas.
You know who looked pretty good? Joe Flacco.
It makes no sense, right?
He was not even on a team, dude. He just showed up for the Browns a couple of weeks ago. Wasn't in a training camp. Wasn't in preseason and this and that. Showed up a couple of weeks ago and he literally looked better than every Jet quarterback or every Jet performance, I should say, all season.
But then, so the thing is, it's like now the new thing is they're leaving a lot of plays on the field. That's the new thing. So who gets blamed for that? The quarterback not pulling the trigger? Like, where is it all? Like, I think everybody at some level has a responsibility in this. And the funny thing now is this whole Zach Wilson thing is kind of like dividing the fan base a little bit. Some people feel bad for Zach, and you're like, you know what? He deserves to get out of here, right? Then the people that hate Zach, they want him out. But then it's like, I got comments today on my video. It was like, well, the fans are to blame. The fans treated Zach so poorly. Why would he want to come back? Here's the deal. This is New York, New Jersey, man. If you don't produce after getting many, many opportunities, you're going to get run out of town. He got benched last year, and rightfully so. He got benched this year, rightfully so. That's not the fans. That's you, bro. You played terribly. Number 2 pick in the draft, and you've been a bust. The fans aren't the problem, dude. We just want to see good, competent football. We want to see touchdowns, points scored. Like, I feel bad for Zach that it's going poorly. He needed to change the scenery desperately. Should have been last year, not this year. But don't blame the fans for stuff, dude. That's just insanity.
It's, I just try to look at everything big picture. Zach is not going to be the guy here. Nope. Maybe he will be the guy somewhere else. Maybe not. It is what it is. It didn't work out. We have to figure it out. We have to move forward. Again, this big debate. Well, should it be Boyle this week? Should it be Zach this week? Should Trevor get a shot? Like, we have so many issues offensively. We scored 8 points against the Falcons, none of which of those points came from the offense.
Nope.
We can talk about all these different 5 straight losses, man. Yep. Historically bad on third downs, penalized every single week, a ton, giving up. We were flagged yesterday 11 times for 71 yards. And I didn't really, agree with a lot of the calls in that game. But at the end of the day, who's the team that consistently gets flagged over and over and over again every single week? It's the Jets. So at some point, we have to talk about accountability.
Yep.
Where's the accountability for Nathaniel Hackett for, the offense stalling over and over again? Oh, well, he's going to be back next year. It's just like how many, it just doesn't really, I'm almost at a loss for words, dude. I mean, it's the mismanagement, the self-scouting is the arrogance. It's like, I'm at my wit's end, dude. Like, it's just, we could talk about Joe Flacco. We could talk about Josh Dobbs and Gardner Minshew and all these different backup quarterbacks, Bridgewater, like all these different guys. But the Flacco thing is just, it just drives me up a wall. And we can go back and even talk about Carson Wentz. Yep. Who knows? Maybe Carson Wentz is worse than Tim Boyle. But the fact that the Jets denied a workout from Carson Wentz hitting the team up is, to me, incompetence. You are literally refusing. Douglas is literally refusing to explore opportunities to make the football team better in an obvious situation. Your quarterback goes down. We can both, plug in Madden and start playing. It's like, oh, your quarterback gets hurt in week 1. Doesn't matter who it is. Pat Mahomes, Jared Goff, Derek Carr, whoever it is. You're probably thinking, okay, well, open roster spot. Let's, it's just the smart, responsible, normal thing to do. Let's explore the quarterback market. Nope, we're not doing it. Zach's the guy.
Yeah,
Well, a second ago, early before the season starts, the plan was to redshirt Zach. Then why is he QB2? We do these pods, every week, and like I apologize for them being so negative, especially during this last month and a half, because again we've lost the 5 straight, and in between the losses, there's just negative story after negative story. It's a joke, man. It's just a disgrace at the end of the day. Like, how is a team ran so poorly?
Yeah, and the thing is this, like, they had Mike White in the building. Mike White literally proved last year he's better than Zach Wilson. He proved it. Literally better than him. They let him go. Why? Because they wanted it. You could not have Mike White and Zach Wilson in the same locker room because you know what? Nobody believes in Zach. Nobody did. You let him walk. So they said, you know what? Zach and Tim Boyle. Tim Boyle's terrible. Like, dude, I'm telling you, the way Joe Douglas handled the quarterback position, he should be fired for it. He should literally be fired for it. The only reason why he's staying here is because you can't fire him and keep Saleh. You can't. Right? You can't. Then you're back to the whole friggin' McCagnon thing again. Right? But
God, how are we here, dude? How are we in this position, man?
Look at all of the problems. Like, Aaron Rodgers is a wonderful piece to have. I love it. But look at all the mistakes that were made with the draft, with the offensive line, with free agency, all these things. The quarterback position is the most important thing. And I'm so tired of hearing about, well, he built a great defense. Here's a news flash. The offense has sucked since they've been here. Like, he was brought here to find a franchise quarterback and help bring this offense back to NFL standards because we were so far behind the rest of the NFL. That was a responsibility, wasn't it?
Well, we're actually getting worse.
That's the problem. And like, and this, well, you know what? No Aaron Rodgers. We can just fall apart and it's fine because it's just Aaron Rodgers. I have news for you, dude. Behind this offensive line, I have no faith Aaron Rodgers wouldn't got hurt anyway. They're terrible, dude. Like, literally, just the scheme makes no sense.
That's another thing. It's another thing that falls on Douglas here. The offensive line. Terrible. Why 4 years? Brought in 2019, and the 4 draft. We talk about it all the time. All these free agent acquisitions, all these draft classes, and I understand that Douglas can't control injuries and stuff like that. AVT Becton, I get that, but one of the points that we're always coming back on these podcasts. Where is the plan B? Where is the insurance policy?
Yep.
It does kind of seem like there's like a clock out period where Douglas is just incognito, right? He's not going to make any moves. Quarterback, offensive line, what have you. He's just going to, and another thing too, it's like, where's a press conference from Douglas? Where's a press conference from Woody Johnson? We're 4 games beneath 500. That's the average mark. We're 4 games beneath that. We have teams doing more, teams with less doing more. Yep. We have teams that are young and rebuilding doing more and looking way more productive. Yep. The eye test and the stats back that up. I would arguably say we're a bottom 3 team in the AFC. Us, New England, and who else? Maybe Tennessee?
Probably better.
I mean, Denver's turned it around.
Yep. But think about it. Like Woody Johnson, when you have the audacity to raise ticket prices during the season after a couple of wins and ask for money earlier than you ever asked for it before, when you have the audacity to do that, when your team goes right in the tank, you've got to bring your ass out and face the media. You have to. Woody Johnson has to do that. Come face your fans, man. Come tell us how you think everything is okay, how you expect more. Tell us something. And Joe Douglas too, especially with this quarterback nonsense. Dude, you can't hide from this now. Like they have to face the music. Somebody has to do it because the fans are just out of their minds. But the product is bad, dude. Like, I literally feel bad for anybody that went to the game yesterday. Could you imagine sitting
here, man? Same here.
3.5 hours sitting there, watch in the rain. Where the prices are for tickets and beer and everything else, and you get nothing. There's no return on your investment. You're watching horrendous football. Where it's like, I literally, dude, you love football. I love football. I look forward to football weekends, college football, everything. I can't wait. The Jets are the only game I don't enjoy. The only game, because you're not going to see any offense. You're going to get pissed off. You can't wait to watch the 49ers and the Eagles and all these other teams because, like, it's exciting. Like, there's no excitement with this team. It's like you're just miserable, and it's going to get worse because now you have no quarterback. Like, Zach ain't going to play. Whatever, that's going to be a joke. Simeon sucks. Boyle sucks. What are we going to watch, dude? Like literally. And then the thing is, just say they lost 5 in a row. How many games do you have to lose in a row before something actually happens? Like, can they lose 7 in a row, 8 in a row? Like, oh, you know what? Just got to hang in there, folks. What? Like, what about this all gas, no break? What about this winning mindset, this culture? This great Jets culture. Where's that culture at? This culture is justifying losses, justifying excuses, week in and week out, and everybody's okay with it. That's what it is.
Yep, no accountability as well.
None.
I don't, and I apologize about the train going by. I really don't agree with it, because the whole thing too that's being now brought up is tanking.
Yep.
And the Jets are like, you're looking at the schedule. Oh, we have Cleveland. Oh, we have, some tougher games here.
Yep.
Houston this week. Should the Jets just, lose out or whatever, or, shoot for a top 2, top 3 draft pick? I mean, a ton of questions come with that. But my first issue right off the bat with that whole, mindset, or even if the Jets are going out, and seriously trying, giving it their 100%, and they still can't win. These players are not just machines. They're not just names on paper. If you are DJ Reed, if you are Quincy Williams, if you're CJ Mosley, or whoever it may be on the defensive side of the football or on special teams, Thomas Morstead, like a veteran, a guy who's been around, Greg Zuerlein, a veteran, guys that have been a part of other teams, other organizations, and the Jets keep losing, the message is going to wear thin. If you're Sauce Gardner, you're going to be entering year 3 of the rookie deal. It's like you're looking at the organization like these guys don't care. Like how am I how do I re-buy back in to what they've been preaching since I've been here? Nothing is really getting done. When things don't go our way, it's fine. We'll just, not talk about it and just ignore it and just, I guess, throw stuff to the wall and hope it sticks the next week and see what that does, like whether it's a play call, like game planning or play calls, or quarterback decision, or whatever the case is. It's again, I just keep coming back to it, man. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but I truly have not seen the offense look this bad in my entire life. Not necessarily so much with like team rankings and statistics and stuff like that, but just the overall like incompetence of it all.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the thing,
you at least had like, okay, we're going to get that 10, 14 points early. We're going to start fast. Darnold's going to start slinging it around early, try to get the short passing game involved. We're then going to start dipping in the second, third, and fourth quarter. And by the way, we had no talent. We had 90 million or whatever it was in cap space, and a bunch of older veterans, Rashad Perryman, Frank Gores, leading the charge. This team was talked about, as winning the AFC East or hosting a playoff game or AFC Championship, whatever it is. Rodgers goes down. Because he goes down along with AVT, they now go from that to being unwatchable. I mean, that's a pretty big jump. So it's either the Jets completely, I mean, you could go ahead. I don't want to keep going on and on about it.
No, because the thing is this. It's like now, it's like I'm so frustrated. I'm like you are, dude. Like I get so mad I want to talk about it. But then I'm like, all right, we're dealing with this mess now. I'm like, all right, what about next year? And everybody's like, well, we have Aaron Rodgers coming back. If you're a free agent in the NFL, would you want to come to play with Jets when you know Aaron Rodgers is probably going to be here one more year? The coach is no doubt on the hot seat. No doubt on the hot seat next year. This whole front office is, right? Would you want to come here? Plus, you add in the MetLife Field. Who's going to want to come here exactly? Who?
I mean,
coming up. So this is back-to-back years this team has melted. Back-to-back years, team's falling apart. So this is not some winning program. The only thing you're selling a free agent is what? You got to pay him a ton of money, or you have a chance to play Aaron Rodgers for maybe 2 years, but most likely 1 year. That's it, dude. If that's my choices, I'm not coming here. Why would you? Aaron Rodgers is 40 years old, bro.
And another thing, too, to kind of, not to try to one-up you here, but just, I think that's an awesome point. But think about the players that are already here.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson gets word. Oh, Hackett's going to be back for next season. You think he's going to be pumped up?
Nope.
No. It's at least Denver cut ties early and moved on.
Yep.
And, took the blame, took all the, like stood there and faced the music. It really seems like we are on like a one-way street to just a top 2, top 3 pick, nothing being done about it.
Nope.
And no accountability, no changes. And it's just all about next season. But then from that point, it's like, are there enough moves that you can make as a team to go from literally a bottom 3 unwatchable team to beating Buffalo, beating Miami, and that's just our division. That's not talking about Baltimore or Cleveland or Burrow coming back with the Bengals.
Yep.
Steelers are a complete mess offensively, but they're at least finding ways to win. I believe they have 6 or 7 wins on the season. Indianapolis is a young rebuilding team. What do they have? A top 5 picked Anthony Richardson. He got hurt. He's not even playing. This team has 7 wins with a rookie head coach in Shane Steichen. Houston, so much farther ahead than where everybody expected them to be. Jacksonville, what are they? 8 wins. They're playing tonight, I think, in a couple hours.
Yep.
We haven't even talked about the Chiefs. Raiders are middle of the road, average, better than the Jets. Denver at this point, better than the Jets.
No, dude, and the thing is, and you look at it, and like I'm like now it's like, and I hate being this doom and gloom, but I'm just fed up. I'm tired of being embarrassed. I'm tired of being like we're back to our same old Jets nonsense now. This Zach Wilson story set me over the edge. But the thing is too, it's like keep looking towards next year. It's like, all right, who's going to want to come here first of all, and how much work has to be done to this offense to make it actually competitive? And it's a lot, dude. The offensive line has to be completely rebuilt. You have 1 receiver. That's all you have. Gibson is a good story. Maybe 2 receivers. Uzama is going to be gone. Ruckert's shown some good things. You need a tight end. You're going to need running backs. Dalvin Cook's going to be gone. Where's Izzy at? Is he ever going to play ever again? Like, why is he not on the field? And so it's like you have a lot of holes you got to fill in this offense, and you got to hope Aaron Rodgers, A, stays healthy and plays at a high level. Plus, do you have any faith in this offensive line coach and this play caller? And I don't think I do. Like, you have so many things for a 1-year run. Next year is your big year run, and you have all these questions. Is it really worth it? Because, dude, I just had this feeling that this time next year, we're going to be sitting there talking and be like, time to rebuild, dude. We got to blow up this. We got Rodgers going to be gone. We got to blow up this staff and start all over again. It just seems like we're a year away from doing it anyway. I honestly, and I hate being that way, maybe because it's just like we're in the thick of it now where it's like we just hate everything. But, like, do you honestly think this time next year, Jets going to be what? Have 8, 9 wins or 7 wins? I don't think so. They need a lot of things to go their way.
I mean, if Rodgers is in there, the team's going to look better, like right off the bat. I have more of an issue with the offensive line because that's something where, it's been a problem for years. It's been a problem before Joe Douglas. It's been a problem since he's taken over. Nothing has really worked outside of AVT, and Tippmann has, shown some nice things, and Becton has shown some stuff too before he was hurt, but he's not going to be back. And you can just look at so many different positions, whether it's like Lakin underperforming or Dwayne Brown being a healthy, practicing but not playing, or Billy Turner being out for the season, or not bringing back, a guy like Morgan Moses or George Fant.
Another guy. Yep.
It just seems like every move, again, outside of AVT, and Tippmann, of course, is, small sample size here, but I still love Tippmann's upside and everything like that. I think he's going to be really good. But man, if I'm being honest, we have 2 offensive linemen that I feel good about, and one of which is coming off another season-ending injury. Yep. So you got to – we're not in the same position that we were back in 2018, 2019, where we can just hit free agency and be like, boom, we're hitting the market with $70 million in space. Let's go out and upgrade the squad. We can't do that. Douglas restructured all these different contracts in the offseason, and they were kind of like flying under the radar, but that just makes it harder to pay these guys off. Once these guys are off the team, not every single player, but a good portion of them, we're going to be paying dead money to. That is not ideal, especially if we're 4 games beneath 500 now. It would be one thing if the Jets – we're in a position like Buffalo where they're good, like Buffalo, maybe these past couple of years, like they're good. They're not good enough to get over the hump. Not good. They're not better than Cincy. They're not better than KC, but pretty much everybody else they can go toe to toe with and beat.
Yep.
That's one thing. If you're pressed up against the cap, then.
Yep.
But we are pressed up against the cap and literally talking realistically right now about having a top 3 to top 5 pick. Not ideal.
Nope.
Not ideal at all. And then you factor in it's a 40-year-old Rodgers coming off an Achilles, projected to be playing behind a bad offensive line, not Josh Allen, not a Pat Mahomes, not Herbert or Jalen Hurts or Lamar Jackson, where these guys have, a solid, at least 5 years left.
Yep.
You're talking about one season, and it's not like, Rodgers has a lot of playing experience like this season. So there might be like a rust factor. Who knows? Like It's such a big roll of the dice, and I cannot believe we're here. It's not, it's not. I'm not looking at it like hindsight 2020 because literally remember, dude, in that first podcast that we did in the season, we talked about the offensive line, we talked about quarterback, talked about trying to address these issues, and we're on episode 16 now, and still nothing is done. The only move that was made was adding Rogers. I think it was Saffold 5 minutes after the trade deadline, and he's not even good enough. He's not even fit enough to play right now, I don't think.
Nope.
And then Trevor Siemian, and supposedly the Jets view Siemian as this horrible option. It's just great. Why do we even bring him in? So again, it's just the no accountability. Where's the leadership? It's just non-existent. Nobody really cares. And as a fan, you're like, why does it feel like I care more than the people running the show, getting paid, what they get paid?
And that's the problem. That's what you feel like. It's exactly what you feel like. They feel like they just kind of mailed this season in, and they're just kind of trying to wade through it and hoping that, it's just kind of right off into the sunset somehow. I don't know what it is. And it's just, when you have a season like this, you want to try to brace something going forward, and they're playing going forward. I don't feel comfortable with. I just don't. It's not sustainable. It's not. The Aaron Rodgers vision was get 2 good years out of him. Well, you lost this year. You have 1 more year left, but how much are you going to put into that year? Are you going to sell your soul all in for that year? That's what it seems like, dude.
And another thing too, it's we had the story earlier about the Devontae Adams thing. It's Devontae Adams is not some free agent. We got to go give up something nice to go get Devontae Adams, assuming that story is true.
Yep.
Which I feel like it is true because it came out at such a weird time. And also that whole Aaron Rodgers connection, everything like that. But it's I just don't understand the vision, the identity, the plan, both short and long term here. Well, right off the bat, it seems like there is no long term plan.
Nope.
No long term plan. It's all selling out for the short term.
Yep.
Which the Rams arguably did, but even before they won it with Stafford, they made another one with Jared Goff. They've built, a functional team, a team that can compete year in, year out, with Goff at quarterback, we all remember, the Todd Gurley teams and whatnot, the early days where Sammy Watkins was on the Rams and stuff. It wasn't just a 1-year sellout.
Right.
Even Tampa, they got a nice little stretch out of Tom Brady when they brought in Arians and everything.
Yep.
But it really feels like they're walking on thin ice. I don't trust anybody anymore.
Me neither.
I don't trust Douglas to make draft picks. I don't trust Saleh with numerous things, whether it's something as small as game, clock management to something as big as winning a locker room back. I don't trust Hackett with game planning or play calls or developing players, putting them in a position to have success. I don't trust the quarterback position. I don't trust the plan. I'm pretty much at a loss.
And that's the thing. It's not like what is giving these guys the benefit of the doubt? They don't have a proven track record of doing anything. And that's the whole thing. It's if Joe Douglas had, he built all these great teams in the past. He had this big, NFL resume where he's been there as the general manager, done that. All right, fine. This is his first job. What has Saleh won in his career as a head coach? He hasn't won anything. His team's second year out. Team's falling apart. First year, we gave him a pass. We literally let him lose the first year because rebuild year, we suck. You had no talent, blah, 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 blah. These guys, what have they done to earn another year? What have they literally, other than, all I keep hearing is they have a great defense. Guess what? That's wonderful. You get evaluated on your offense, defense, special teams. The offense is one of the worst in football again this year. What have they done as a staff, as a front office, all of them, to warrant being given this just a throwaway year, no big deal, come back next year, no repercussions? What have they, how have they earned that? Where? Where's the winning? Where's all this, and that's just, and again, I understand I'm coming off really, really negative because I'm fed up, dude. I'm literally tired of this. It's just not fun, but this team needs to understand that there has to be repercussions for losing. There has to be, especially in the way they're doing it now.
But yeah, and you try to think being a fly in one Jets drive, right? Fly on the wall. It's just what are they actually talking about? 2024, okay, we're just gonna lose this season or just try our best this season. get Rodgers back next season and everything's going to be fine. Like, we're going to attempt to go get Devontae Adams, maybe go get like a big name offensive lineman. And then like all our defense is going to look the same exact way. And the special teams is going to be the same exact way. And nobody's going to get hurt. And Rodgers will be fine. And he's going to look just like he did back in Green Bay when he won the MVPs. And there's going to be no adversity, because when there is adversity, they fold. They fold really, really quick. And I hate to say that, because that was one thing about the Rex Ryan era and Todd Bowles era that I felt like was never really a question, right? If somebody got hurt, if you have a question mark at a specific position, it's like, no, they're still going to go out there, give it 110% and fight back against the other team. And it's going to be close at the end. It wasn't until like that last season with Todd Bowles where he just kind of felt like he was outmanned and kind of out of solutions, out of answers. Ironically enough, offensively. But yeah, no, I like, I'm just like,
but is it they're melting, or they just undermanned? They don't have the talent we thought they had. And that's the other question, dude. It's like they're struggling so much right now because of the way they handle the quarterback position. That's just a fact. They took a calculated risk. We talked about it for the last 5 weeks. It's blown up completely in their face. All right. So all the quarterback, you have arguably one of the worst quarterback rooms in the NFL, minus Aaron Rodgers. What, Boyle, Wilson, and Simeon is horrendous. Okay, you have that. But on the offensive line, is there enough talent in the offensive line that it's just a matter of better coaching makes them better? Or there are a lot of bad players there? Max Mitchell, probably not that good, right? So it's like the wide receiver group. Now you have Garrett Wilson and a bunch of guys. Lazard's been a classic just bust. Randall Cobb's old. Traded away Hardman. You have Brownlee, who got banged up yesterday. Irv Charles, is there they're actually, from what we thought was this big win now team, do they really have win now talent on offense?
Well, I'll say this, either way, whether it's players that aren't performing well or that they never had enough talent in the first place, both scenarios fall back on JD.
Yep, 100%.
So,
and that's my question to you is that it's just like, we all beginning of the year were like, this is a 12-win team, 11-win team. We bought into all this stuff. This can be great, Aaron Rodgers, because we thought, well, the offensive line, we both did question. We did question that. But it's like, I think we overvalued a lot of these players. And now it's like, you're looking at where they're at. It's like, all right, if you have a decent player, coaching can make them good. Like, there's ways you can make players better. Coaching, execution, play calling, all these things. When you have mediocre players combined with mediocre coaching, you're going to get mediocre results. And that's what we're getting now, right?
I don't think we're seeing mediocre coaching. I think it's a lot worse.
Could be.
A lot worse. I mean, I was thinking about this the other day, like outside, I mean, like, think about every single offensive player that you've seen for the Jets this season outside of Rodgers, because again, 4 plays, whatever. Is any player exceeding expectations?
No.
They're and I guess we can put Brownlee and Gibson off to the side because they are undrafted rookies. So it's not like we've seen them for years, and it's not like they came in with mega expectations either. Mm-hmm. But like, you go down the list offensively, they're either barely where they're supposed to be, or they're under.
Yep.
And you can talk about every single position: tackle, guard, wide receiver, tight end, quarterback, running back. It seems like every single position is either below average or just where they're supposed to be, like where, the average expectations, should be at, like Tippmann and whatnot, rookie 2nd round pick. But we don't have that one, the one go-to guy that's having like a great year that we can kind of lean on. Even like the Breece Halls and Garrett Wilsons of the world, they're having they're having their fair share of struggles. And it's, it's just, personally, I'm not putting it on them because they've been carrying everything and being forced to do everything for a long time. It's just, I'm just fed up with everything. It's kind of crazy just seeing fans of like the Broncos talk about the shortcomings and the failures of Nathaniel Hackett. And like, just seeing how they're saying that the Jets are being ran the same exact way as the Denver Broncos a year ago. But with Denver, the seat was hot. People were mad. and the players were just totally frustrated, and they ended up making a change. But with the Jets, it just seems like everything is totally fine. Everybody has their blinders on because we just have to wait it out until A-Rod gets back.
Yeah, and the thing is, too, even with Brees Hall, and I love Brees Hall looked a step slow yesterday. So I'm thinking he's probably banged up or something. He seemed like he was just off, not his usual explosive self, which is the case. I give him so much credit for trying to fight through it because he hates to lose, and he's giving everything he has to this team. But if that's the case, go with the Dalvin Cook had a couple back-to-back good runs. Of course, he fumbles, which, of course, right? But then if Izzy's healthy, why not give him a chance, dude? Like, what are we waiting for? Like, I don't understand. Like, the rotation of the players makes no sense. It's like they have like this book that's written in pen. I must follow these rules at all times, and I will not stray from this. No matter how dumb it is, we're going to stick to this. Like, even when Saleh explains it, like Dalvin Cook had back-to-back good runs. Well, he had 2 in a row, so we had to take him out because we usually, he probably needed to blow this and that when he was actually getting stronger. Like even when you try to explain it, you're like, what are we listening to? It's wild, dude. Like right now, if I'm the Jets, the season's over. I mean, they're not gonna admit that because I guess they need one more loss to kind of really be out of it, right? But I'm like, you got to play all the kids, dude. Like, play all the kids, everybody. Like, it's just there's no sense to force out all these guys. It's over. The run is over. Try to find some diamonds in the rough. Who's not going to be here next year. Like, Ruckert should play exclusively, give him all the playing time in the world. Let Izzy play. Just unload. I'd rather lose young with some kind of exciting plays than watch this stuff. Like Dwayne Brown, we really appreciate you coming back. You can sit. We don't need you anymore. Keep playing all the young offensive linemen you can. Carter Warren, Max Mitchell. Play them as much as you can, dude. Right? Well, there's no sense playing guys that are old and not going to be here anymore. Season's over.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. Your point about like sticking way too long with the same thing, I think that trickles into other decisions as well. Like it always kind of seems like the Jets are like behind the curve.
Yep.
They're late to make a move. And it goes back to, you can make that point about Robert Saleh. You can make that point about Nathaniel Hackett. You can make that point about Joe Douglas too, with just, it just really seems like the one word that the Jets just completely lack within the entire organization from top to bottom is proactive. There's not a proactive mindset. It's just like, this is like what we think is going to happen, and it is going to happen. And then when it doesn't happen, it's like all hell breaks loose. We have no idea what to do. Everybody's freaking out.
Yep.
And we either just don't do anything about it or just keep it going and hope, like cross our fingers that it changes. But dude,
but the other thing too is it's not like this is the first time this happened. This literally happened last year. We literally just saw this. So it's not like we're being harsh for a reason because we've already witnessed it. It's not like a first time. We're not getting blindsided by it. A lot of this we predicted, right? Because we knew we kind of had we're kind of concerns, and we just saw it. So it's tough they can't talk their way out of it. They can't. Like today's press conference with Saleh, I didn't believe a word he said. I honestly knew, you could tell he was lying. You could literally tell. Like it was just, the Jets now are in complete spin control. They're trying to put out fire after fire after fire because they hate negative headlines. They can't sell tickets anymore. And now they're getting ripped by the media all across the country. They're getting blasted everywhere now. And the fans are fed up. So now they're trying to find ways to spin things. The anonymous sources are going to come out now, which happened today. They're going to be more because now the defensive players are all pissed off. These stories are all going to come out, right? And then it's just going to get worse, dude. It's going to get worse. And this is times like this is miserable being a Jet fan. It's miserable.
Yeah. Dude, every day it just feels like a dark cloud, dude.
It is. And that's and it's like, usually you want to break down the game and like where it went wrong and this and that. Like there's so many things wrong with the team. I don't want to break down the game anymore. Like, I don't care. We know it's bad.
And on top of that, nothing is going to change next week.
No.
Nothing is going to change next week. So it's like, is there even a, like,
we're going to get killed. And the thing is, like, it's funny because, like, you try to do a game preview. So for the last 2 weeks, I was like, you know what? I'm going to try to rally around Tim Boyle and say, you know what? This team can't stay this incompetent on offense. Like, something has to change. Like, you kind of give them the benefit of doubt. Like, there's got to be somebody smart in the building and say, this is going to change. Or Aaron Rodgers being back day in and day out. Maybe that helps them come, even see him on a sideline shaking his head now. He's like, dude, this is terrible. You know what I mean? Like you have you have no faith in nothing now. Like the Houston Texans are going to come here and go whoop our ass. And that's going to happen. Like we can't score points. You can't score points. You can't win. So what's your game preview going to be? Like you do previews, dude. I watch them. Like, how do you even preview this game coming up? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, well,
It,
the thing is with previews this year, it's just like nothing. Like with LaFleur, at least the box, like he would shake things up occasionally.
yep.
But with Hackett, it's just the same thing. And I guess yesterday there were times where, they did take more shots down
Yeah.
the field, uh, pretty much for the most part unsuccessful all across the board. Again, you can maybe point to execution or personnel. You can look at Joe Douglas for that. It's just so, and it goes back to this offense having a laundry list of problems.
Yep.
So like if one guy makes a mistake, it's just magnified because that's like the only time that we're going to have, a positive play.
Yep.
So these mistakes look way, way worse as opposed to, if like if Devontae Smith drops a pass for the Eagles, it's like, oh yeah, it sucks, but whatever, next play. If Garrett Wilson drops a pass or Alan Lazard drops a pass or Dalvin Cook fumbles or whatever it is, it's like, man, we're gonna have to wait an hour before we see another positive play like that or a play with positive potential. You know what I'm saying? Or
Oh, yeah.
25 plays have to go have to go by for us to be pushing the ball down the field again or something. So it's just
Yeah, like when it's 1st and 15, I'm like, we're screwed. Not getting a first down here. That's it. Like 1st and 15 is insurmountable. 2nd and 15, forget it. Like like you could see like the down and distance. Like, yeah, that's not happening. Like you just know you're not getting it because they don't throw the ball more than 3 yards. I think they had 2 passes yesterday for like 30 yards or something like that. And it's like even when he threw it, he was like, it didn't look like he threw it any kind of confidence. But like 3rd and 10, going to be a 5-yard pass. Like we do live streams during the game, dude. We're placing bets on how far the ball is going to travel in the air on 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8. Everybody's like 4 yards, 3 yards. And a lot of times we're wrong. It's like a 1-yard pass, 2-yard pass. Like they have no aggressive nature at all in this offense. They just so conservative and so just like check it down, get rid of it, let's punt. Right? It's wild, dude. Like you can't make it up anymore.
Dude, I just want Saleh or somebody to, whether it's Douglas or whoever, to come out in the next press conference and just not unleash or anything, but just show some emotion.
Everyone's getting
Like this
changed.
is absolutely unacceptable.
You got to fire somebody, dude. Even fire the line coach. Just pretend you care. The offensive line's been terrible. They're not well coached. They're not. They're a mess. If you're not going to fire Hack because he's Rodgers' best friend, Downing or Carter, somebody can go, right? You got to make a statement somewhere, no?
Well, both guys were fired last year. All 3 guys were fired last year. So
I don't know, dude.
Yeah, dude, I really don't know where we go from here. I don't even really know if there's anything like more to add, like for Houston next week. I think the week after that we got Washington, I believe. I think
they probably have 2 winnable games left in theory. Probably the Commanders and the Patriots. That's it.
I wouldn't even say New England. I mean, Saleh's 0-5 against.
Well, they'll probably be legitimately tanking then. Probably get like a top 3 pick. We'll probably solidify that for them by winning that game and celebrating it. Yeah, right. That's
dude. New England is going to end up with like a top 3 pick, man.
Yep.
Crazy. It's wild, but yeah, dude. Is there anything more that you wanted to add?
No, this has been just one like long bitch session, and I'm sorry. I was initially like kind of quiet today. I was like, all right, I'm just over this. We'll talk about it. We'll break down the game. Then this Zach Wilson nonsense came up. It just annoyed me to no end because I'm like, we're back. Like we're back to this situation again, similar to last year. The locker room's gonna be a mess, and now the Jets can do all kinds of spin control in the media, and you see right through it. And you're not gonna fool any of us, and you're gonna go to the game next week that people spend a lot of money on tickets, man, and they're watching a really bad product, and that sucks, dude. So
yeah, dude, I know, man. Like it's not cheap going to games, parking, and all these different things. It sucks. It sucks. And dude, I appreciate everybody that hangs out and watches.
Yeah.
Vids on the channel. I appreciate everybody that goes to games, man. Like you're supposed to go to games and have fun. Even in a loss. Like, oh man, like I still had a great time hanging with friends, family. We made a couple great plays, went down to the end. A blowout is bound to happen. Like, it should happen. But averaging 6 points a game, week in, week out, and then just to hear the same things in press conferences, it's just a joke, man. But I think that's it for me.
Yeah, no, look, and I appreciate everybody watching too, man. Like, and I don't genuinely enjoy being this angry and this negative. I don't enjoy it. Like, football should be fun. The Jets should be fun. We should have fun every Sunday and enjoy it. But it's an unwatchable product, and you got to just The more you complain, hopefully somebody hears it. They get everybody to think it's because like the team's gonna know sooner or later they gotta make changes. So I don't know. It's a mess.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be 5-8 next week. But
And wait, and one more thing too. If people are still watching right now, dude. Everybody keeps telling me that I broke you and I made you negative. That's not true, dude. It's this
no,
team. The team did it to you. It wasn't me. It's the
no,
team.
it's a collective
I'm getting blamed for this.
effort from Doug. The thing I would say that gets me the most mad is the lack of effort. The lack of effort. Like if I had Carson Wentz's number, I would contact him and try to figure out a way, finagle a way to get him to the Jets facility in for a workout in front of a coach. I would do that for free.
Yep.
I don't work for the team. I'm saying this as a fan. If I'm a general manager of a football team where, of course it would be my job and I'm getting paid to do a job, but I am leaving no stone unturned.
Yep.
And the fact that there are being multiple stones left, turned or unturned or whatever, I don't even know. Like the fact that it just seems, dude, like it seems like we're okay with losing, and that irritates me, man, because this is the first with Gase and them. We just weren't good enough.
Yep.
We just weren't good enough. We weren't smart enough. We weren't talented enough. We didn't have the roster. We didn't have the coaches. We just didn't have it. But with this regime, it's like, yeah, we might not be good enough, but we're not trying at all. We're not trying to fix problems.
Nope.
And
it's almost like arrogant.
Yep. And that's I never really felt McCagnon was arrogant. I never really felt that, Idzik was that arrogant or Tannenbaum was arrogant. But like this one, it just kind of seems like it's like us against the world.
Yep.
But when like in reality, it's like, no, the world is literally just pointing out the numbers are historically bad. Can you do something about it? And the Jets are like, no, we can't.
No, and the failure to adjust should cost jobs. That's it. They had a plan. The plan didn't work, and now you should be held accountable for it. And they're not going to be. And we'll see what happens. Maybe I don't know. I think it's gonna get worse from here. It's not gonna get better. I can't see them turning this around by no means. You're gonna see a team this week that we wish we were. That's right. Like you're seeing a team like, wow, I wish we were like that. The right coach, the right quarterback, a lot of young talent. They're all heading the right direction, playing great football. That's what we should be.
Yep. I know. And they're so much earlier on in the process than us too.
Yep.
They're in year one of this whole thing. But yeah, that's going to do it for me. I think that's going to do it for Tyson too. Thanks so much for watching. We both really, really appreciate it. And as always, go Jets.